Hey everyone, welcome to Retaliatory Strike. Today we have a game between myself, Ryan, playing Circle, and Chris playing Cryx.
Hi everybody, my name is Chris. Today I'm playing the Witch Coven in Slaughterfleet Raiders. They're running Barathrum and two very obviously Deathrippers there that Ryan was nice enough to let me borrow. I've got a Blood Priestess with them to help get free upkeep and maybe keep them alive. I've got Axiara Wraithblade, Satyxis Raider Captain, and two Warwitch Sirens. I've got Gaspy 4 running Conservator, which was lent to me by my friend Andrew. A unit of Black Ogrun Ironmongers to keep Gaspy and the Jacks running. Two max units of Black Ogrun Smog Belchers. And a unit of Shard Dirge Seers. The idea is that I sort of wanted to build a Cryx gun line, but it being Cryx and Slaughterfleet Raiders, all my jacks get Gang Fighter, they can hit really hard, so I'm going to shoot at you if you stay away, and I'm going to really beat you up if you get too close. The Conservator is sort of a unique choice. It has Pathfinder, which is really nice, it's a Shield Guard, which is really nice, and between Hand of Vengeance and Gang Fighter, it gets really accurate without too much effort on my part.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. Today I'm running Kaya1 in the Wild Hunt. For her battle group, I have the Gnarlhorn Satyr, a Gorax Rager, Warpwolf Stalker, a Wild Argus, a Wold Guardian, and a Wold Wyrd. I also brought the Druid Wilder with her for that free upkeep. For solos, I have two Blackclad Stoneshapers and the Lord of the Feast. And for units, I have a Boil Master and Spirit Cauldron, the Death Wolves, Shifting Stones, and a maximum unit of Warpborn Skinwalkers with the Alpha. The idea is the Boil Master and Death Wolves and Lord of the Feast, so the pot can fuel them up with corpses and get them online without having to kill anything themselves. I brought the Warpwolf Stalker mostly with her because it's a long threat range, so I was hoping he could reach out and grab something and then I could Spirit Door him back and have a favorable trade that way. I brought the Wold Guardian because it's a lot of more squishy, dodgy pieces, and I wanted a little bit of beef into the list here, and then the Wold Wyrd as well for really decent shooting platform with purgation and whatnot. Deployment. So Chris won the roll off and chose to go first, and I chose side, and I picked the side with a trench and rubble template, and then I also really didn't want to deal with the burning earth up at the top there. And then Chris's deployment.
So Ryan chose the Eyeless Sight objective. I went with the treasure chest for the rerolls. The Eyeless Sight's kind of important because there is that cloud sort of in the middle towards the bottom, and there's that forest on the center flag. It's going to be a little awkward to deal with. I want to put Gaspy sort of behind that cloud. He can flicker into it and charge if he wants to, or he can just hide behind it and be somewhat safe. I just have to control where that Wold Wyrd goes. I'm going to spread out my Deathrippers, one on each sort of lane, one at the bottom, one at the top. The Witches are similarly going to spread out. We got one going to just sit behind that house, hopefully all game. One maybe towards the top, maybe she'll go behind that house, and one sort of behind the wall would be nice. The Conservator is going to help keep Gaspy safe, help keep the ball safe, help keep everybody safe, hopefully. And he's positioned right towards the lane between the cloud and the forest. I've got a unit of Smog Belchers up at the top and a unit right in the bottom corner. And all my solos are sort of beside Gaspy there. I've got the Dirge Seers kind of going towards the bottom as well. And the Ironmongers ready to repair Gaspy or the Conservator, wherever they need.
For my deployment, I'm putting Kaya right up the middle so she can react to anything that Chris is doing. I put the Druid Wilder just above her a little bit, and then all the Warpborn Skinwalkers at the bottom there. I'm hoping that they are going to get to fight the Smog Belchers at the bottom. I put the pot just below Kaya there. My Gorax Rager up near the top. I'm thinking he might be able to assist with the Smog Belchers up top. Same with the Wild Argus up there. I put the Wold Wyrd just below the pot, and then my 2 heavy hitters of the Wold Guardian and Stalker just above Kaya, so they're in the middle and can react to where he moves.
Yeah, nice having Pathfinder on everything. So Barathram's going to advance deploy, just go up the middle, same as everybody else. With Drag below, he can also go into the cloud and run back behind it, which is super handy.
For my advanced deploy, I put the Lord of the Feast up top, the shifting stone so it can shift the Wall Guardian.
Cryx, turn 1. Alright, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Coven. This is my first time with this list, and I'm sort of realizing that I misdeployed that unit at the top just because there's no good targets for them. So they're going to have to run and shoot the gap between the house and the forest there. 2 center witches are going to run up, hopefully be safe behind a house. It's pretty hard to get at them. But that Deathripper's just going to go up and stay out of the Lord of the Feast's range. I'm going to run up the Blood Priestess behind the wall. She's going to hopefully stay safe there and hopefully keep the other witch safe. Gaspy's unit will run, and I sort of mismoved them. I should have put the bottommost ball further up so it's not in the way as bad. But the other Deathripper's going to run up, and my solos are going to run up, and mostly it's just going to be a lot of running up. I can stay out of his range. I do make sure that that he's not going to get. I forget which Death Wolf has the axe, but he's not going to get axed on my Satyxis captain. And then I put down a cloud so he can't see anyway. Barathrum, I realize I've sort of boxed him in, and I think about walking him over the wall. Then I realize he's out of range anyway, so he might as well just run up. And everyone else is just moving forward. I make sure I got some good shield guard targets for that Conservator.
Circle, turn 1. So pretty standard turn 1, I'm going to run mostly. But I do check to see if he ran the one model into the threat range of the Death Wolves, because I can give out Isle of Sight to one of them, but he did keep them out. So I move up the pot and I roll up 1 corpse. Seems to be an ongoing thing with my corpse creation. And then run the Death Wolves to stay in that trench and be difficult to kill. I then walk up the Wold Wyrd. I run the Wild Argus kind of into the middle there. I then run the Wold Guardian up, and then I teleport him his 8 inches forward to be behind that forest. I then run the Stoneshaper into the trench as well, and I put the Warpwolf Stalker up where he can be teleported if necessary. I then run the Gorax down. I realized that my control area was a little bit tight. I then ran the Lord of the Feast up top there, so then as soon as he comes around that forest, I'll be able to attack stuff. I run the Skinwalkers at the bottom there, putting 2 in front to hopefully eat a charge, and then I move up the Gnarlhorn to hopefully get a counter slam. I then move Kaya up and I put Occultation onto the Skinwalkers, and then do the spell where I get to take off a fury from everyone.
Cryx, turn 2. Alright, so I got a few things I want to do this turn. Ryan's being very aggressive with that Wold Guardian there, and I have a bunch of good ways to deal with them. I'm realizing I put all my heavy hitters on the bottom of that house, and I've got kind of nothing on the top. But we're gonna spend a lot of time thinking. We're gonna get all our focus. I will upkeep Occultation on Gaspy. I will upkeep Infernal Machine on Barathrum. I will not upkeep the Veil of Mists because I'm definitely gonna feat this turn, and so blocking line of sight isn't super valuable. And my Jax power up, and I think I do use the treasure chest on that middle witch behind the house. I can get a Dirge Seer in range to give her guidance to ignore the Lord of the Feast stealth. I can give a couple of Smog Belchers eyeless sight so that they can ignore the stealth on the Skinwalkers. And a couple of them can aim, a couple of them can walk up. And we're gonna find my dice tray and start rolling up some shots. So the ones without eyeless sight are going to shoot at the Gnarlhorn. It's not going to do a whole lot. Choking Ash doesn't affect War Beasts, and he's just a reasonably durable beast. They're not anti-armor guns, but the eyeless sight ones are going to keep the front guys from charging at me anyways, or keep them from running even. So that'll limit his mobility on his own turn. And I end up missing the Gnarlhorn anyway, so I don't do anything to it. Ryan puts out some clouds for me, and I think some more. This turn ends up taking a long time because I just have so many options, and there's so many medium bases in this list. It's kind of awkward to move around. And I measure a few things. I don't want Gaspy to get jumped by anything. I don't want the Egregore to get jumped by anything. And even under my feet, he can go surprisingly far through that forest and just be really annoying to deal with. The bottom witch walks up. She's going to have a few sucker targets. And she puts Curse of Shadows up on the Wold Guardian, so that'll help me shoot him a couple times. I position the Raider Captain aggressively. Gotta bait in Mr. Axe Guy somehow. And do some thinking. I really need to practice this list a few times. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what I can do with Barathrum. I don't want to get countercharged, and I forget that I've got Infernal Machine making him a speed 8 heavy. So I got my 8-inch stick there, even though I can actually charge a little further than that. But I don't want to get counterslammed. Getting your heavies counterslammed is real bad, but it's moderately easy to avoid because you got to go directly towards to slam. So I'm going to charge Barathrum in, and with Murderous, I can really kill that Skinwalker there, and I'm actually just going to drag below and go back behind the cloud, like I mentioned earlier. So he'll be safe. That bottom Deathripper is going to move up, so he can maybe get in there. With Gangfighter, the Deathrippers can actually be pretty effective. Going to Mat 7, POW 14, they're almost like real lights. And so I'm gonna throw some balls up. They come back forever, so they gotta be real annoying to deal with. I decide I want to get that Dark Shroud on the Guardian for my gunshots, get that extra -2 armor. I'm gonna run up with the Ironmongers. Axiara is really helping me because she has the Tactician, but I do definitely put the guy in the middle up too farther than I should have, considering that you collect corpses and all. And now this bottom unit of Smog Belchers is going to go up. I carefully check my positioning with the bottom witch so that she can fit around the house. And then we're going to dial up some shots. Thanks, Ryan. Let it be. go back a little bit. Of course, they're AoEs, so the half-inch melee range on the Servitor means I can definitely kill him. And now I don't get Dark Shroud anyway, so great. But we did a point of damage with that extra -2 armor, so. And we deal a bit more damage with a couple other guys, but the die rolls are not super great. I actually moved the Egregore back a little bit just to keep it safe and also to get the perfect conjunction between witches. Now the middle witch is going to go, and I'm going to try to Stygian Abyss the Lord of the Feast off the table. And I'm going to hit him and boost the damage, and bye-bye Lord of the Feast. That solves that problem.
I think you ended up using the reroll on the damage to actually kill him.
Yeah, I rolled trip. I remember I rolled trip once for that at first, and that's not enough. And then there's Axiara being mean towards your guy, your Wold Guardian.
Circle, turn 2. So I leech in all my fury, I get to upkeep occultation for free, so might as well. And that was just us measuring the feet range for Chris there. So first thing I do is I hand out Eyeless Sight to the Wold Wyrd and then move up the pot and make some corpses, which is 1 corpse again. So I give that out to Skull, who then charges the Ironmonger in front. And we check here, and I can run Caleb around the threat range of the Raider Captain there and get into the zone. So I do that. So I'm contesting the zone with him, and then I just run Talia into the forest. So I charge the Ironmonger, I hit, and he dies, doesn't tough, so I get a corpse. I overtake, so I'm fully in the forest, and I buy and boost an attack onto the Raider Captain there because they're dodgy. And I end up killing him, and I keep Barathrum engaged in melee with him, and he's on 1 corpse fully in the forest, so he has stealth and is hopefully hard to remove. Here I'm trying to decide what to do with my Gnarlhorn. I can't quite decide, so I decide to go with my Skinwalkers instead. So they move up to get gang on some stuff, and they're just walking because the front guys were all covered in ash and whatnot. So my 2 are going after Gatsby's balls there. So I do my rapid healing, and then they remove both of them pretty easily, which is good. After that, I realized that my Wold Guardian can trample and get to the Deathripper there, so I'm gonna go for that, and I trample and I buy an attack, and then I realize that I'm out of control. But Chris is nice enough because as you can see right there, I pointed at where she was going to be standing, which would put him in control, so he let me finish that out as if I had done that before. So I buy an attack and I boosted to hit, so I cored him out and took out his cortex, and he's knocked down, which is great for me. I then run the Wild Argus to engage an Iron Belcher, and then run the Stalker up, so then he can't be seen behind that forest, but he'll be able to move. I then run the Stoneshaper to get that flag because there's nothing within 4 inches, so I'm going to score 2 points this turn, and Chris is going to score nothing, so I'm going to get a little bit of a scenario lead here, which will be great. And then I realize where I need to put Kaya is right in front of Barathrum with his awesome spell, so I run the Gnarlhorn Satyr so then he can body block for her. I then move up my Wold Wyrd and remove an Ironmonger. It wasn't a great turn for him, but that's what happens when the Coven feats. There is Kaya moving up. I Soothing Songs to get some of the Fury off the board. Can't get any off of the Wold Guardian as it's living War Beast only. And then I drop 3 Fury just so then I have a couple transfers and I can take most of my Fury in. I teleport up the stones to body block for me as well. Same thing, I just run the Gorax Rager and move up the Druid Wilder into the corner there to maybe go after that top flag next turn, and I just have the Stoneshaper with the Weird.
Cryx, turn 3. Alright, so Ryan's given me a lot of options here. I'm going to not upkeep Occultation because I think Gaspy's going to get up in the mix this turn. And I'd rather he didn't get Purgation, but I will upkeep Infernal Machine, and I will upkeep Curse of Shadows on the Wold Guardian there. So be afraid, Mr. Big Rock guy. I'm going to do some measuring here with Gaspy. He can just get everything there. It's really a nice spot for him. I got to do some measuring, see if any of my Smog Belchers can get around the stealth that's still on those Skinwalkers, and it's being a bit annoying to deal with. And what am I going to do at the top? What am I going to do? I'm also going to check with the Conservator here. He does have Hand of Vengeance triggered, so he's going to be angry and accurate. And I'm trying to see if I can engage all of the Death Wolves, and then Ryan points out that they're kind of in a perfect triangle, so there's actually no way to see them all at the same time. And oh yeah, line of sight's a thing. So is there any way I can get at that stupid Warpwolf behind the forest? No. What do I do? I think a whole bunch. I got a bunch of thinking, but I do end up allocating one to the Conservator. I do fully load Barathrum as well, because he's definitely going to kill that Gnarlhorn there. And I'm going to run up a Warwitch Siren, or walk up a Warwitch Siren. She's got a parry, so she just goes where she wants. I want her to engage Mr. Axewolf there and empower the Conservator so that he can get enough attacks to actually kill these stupid little guys. And getting gang fighters kind of nice because it means that I hit on 3s and kill on anything, because he goes to mat 11, power strength 21, which is pretty good. He still takes 2 hits to kill that Mr. Axe guy, and he's gonna buy 2 attacks to kill Mr. Claw guy. Or Miss Claw guy? I don't know.
Mr. Talia's the only girl, and she's in the forest right now, safe.
Yeah, perfectly safe, where she will stay for a little bit anyway. Gaspy's gonna go up. He's gonna spawn a ball. It's gonna end up going into that Stoneshaper and knock over the tree, of course. And the ball is going to miss, which sucks, but it is what it is. And then Gaspy's going to just smack down a Warpwolf, the wounded one up front there, and then he's going to buy an attack into the next one and hurt it a bit, and buy an attack into the Gnarlhorn and hurt it a bit, and camp 2. He's got a soul, which means if he survives, he'll be real dangerous next turn. And then Barathram's getting ready to go. And he's going to just walk up because he's got, again, Speed 8. Speed 8 is real fast. And he can get within an inch in between the stones there. So he's going to put some attacks in and just truck him down. He kills that heavy with his initials. And he's going to punch a couple stones because he's fully loaded, and then we're gonna see him skitter back behind the cloud again because it's better to be safe than sorry. Now what are we gonna do? We got options. We got to think. Right. So I'm contesting the middle flag. I've got a heavy in the way, so that's Ryan's probably not going to score that. I killed the
Death Wolf you're going into right now.
So Axiara is going after that final Death Wolf. She gave herself reposition so that she can engage the Stalker maybe limit his options there a little bit. I will be scoring my zone. I'm contesting the middle. I don't see any way to contest Ryan's zone, so he's gonna score 1, but at least we're catching up a little bit, maybe. I'm gonna hand out some Isle of Sight to my Smog Belchers, and I'm gonna run up a Deathripper so that I can ignore stealth on a couple of the wolves as well. And there, now my Smog Belchers are gonna dial up some shots, and I end up killing another one of the.
You killed one there.
Yeah, another couple Skinwalkers. I want to get rid of enough of them that Ryan can't get gang with them anymore, because then they're a lot less scary. I hit some shots, I missed some shots. It's fun. We lived, we laughed, we loved. But he's got 2 of them. He's got the alpha. You can just see its big cape at the bottom there, and he's got the leader in melee with Gaspy, and it's probably not gonna stay there for very long. The top unit of Smog Belchers is going. They're gonna keep rolling and not cripple anything on the Wold Guardian, which is a shame. The one in melee, he sure does not know how to swing his axe, because he doesn't do anything. Warwitch Siren walks up and spray venoms the Stoneshaper and does 0 damage, but he's corroded. It's a 5-turn clock there. Yep. I'm gonna back up this witch so that it's easier for me to get my triangles, and move Egregore, keep it going. And then the witch at the bottom she's gonna channel through the Deathripper, and I'm gonna throw Stygian Abysses at a couple of these Skinwalkers. I'm gonna kill one in melee because magic ability 9 that's boosted is pretty darn accurate. And I'm gonna get rid of another one there. Oh, I
hit the alpha and blinded him.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that alpha less useful this turn, and I'm gonna run up so I score that bottom flag, so we can get 2 points to Ryan's 1.
Circle, turn 3. So I pull in all my fury. I upkeep occultation because it's free. Why not? I then roll my corrosion check on the Stoneshaper, and it goes out, so the game clock is over there, which is great. I am looking to, and I move up the Wold Wyrd to take some shots at Barathrum because he has a spell, and between dig in and everything, he's super high defense, so I end up missing my first 2 shots, boost a hit, and then I boost damage, chip a little bit of damage into him. Wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Here, and then back into the tank. This is going to be a fairly long turn trying to figure everything out here. So I am just trying to decide what I can do, because I have Asphyxious 4, which is very hard to remove, kind of all up in my grill here, and I want to clear out that middle flag, but there's a heavy there. So I decided I need to start moving models, so I teleport my last remaining stone up to contest the bottom flag there. I then use the Gorax, who pays 1 to primal the Stalker, and then he charges Asphyxious. I boost to hit, I hit, and I crank the dice, which I think does a little bit of damage to him. Yeah, had to fade at least, which is a win in my books. Here I can get my Wold Guardian within range of the Deathripper and that, but with my control range I need it extended. So I run the Wilder up so she's within 12, so it extends my control range for that. So he walks up, boosts to hit the Deathripper, hits him, and then that kills him outright, which is great for me. I then attack the Ironmonger Belcher up top, and I miss, so I buy an attack, I hit, and I ram him forward, and then I buy an attack into the one engaged with the Wild Argus, and I missed that one too. So I was hoping that he would get a couple more kills out of his activation, but he did pretty good. He cleared out that flag, so I'm scoring that one now at least. Here is where we realized that my plot would have had corpses, so maybe I'll get to boost something at some point here. But there's not much that he can do, so he Puppet Masters Kaya for me. I then take a free strike with the Wild Argus, which I think he misses. And then I walk up and I Doppler Bark, so Axiara and the one Siren are defense 5, and then he combo bites Axiara, and she doesn't tough, so she's dead now. So it's going good for me over there at least. And now I have 2 other models, and I'm hoping that I can kill Asphyxious and have an inert jack there, so then I can score that flag as well. And I can score 3 this turn. It's going to be ideal. So all I have to do is kill the dump truck that is Asphyxious 4. I move up the alphas. I'm trying to decide how to do all this because I can't do any combat or anything. So I Night Howls because might as well. He's probably going to die. So I go with the Warpwolf Stalker, who I warped Strength. I probably should have warped Berserk, but it's alright. He is mat 10 with Primal and Pack Hunters from Kaya. So he goes up, he kills the Siren that had low defense. He then kills the other Siren and then buys an attack and kills the little orb there. And then he buys the rest of his attacks onto the Conservator, and then because the theme benefit is 1 less cost for Animus, he can do his Animus for free. So he lightning strikes forward and turns, so then the Conservator isn't in his front arc, so if he frenzies, he's going to be frenzying into whatever gets put into his combat or into the objective there, and maybe get some damage in on that. Here is my Kaya charging in on Asphyxious. So I end up knocking him down, and I'm going through and I'm buying and hitting and boosting damage. And I kill him on my last attack, which is good for me because what I do now is feat and pull in 6 Fury, which is great. I was originally going to Soothing Songs, and then I realized I needed a model in my zone to score that. So I asked Chris, and he says that it's okay if I backtrack that. So I Spirit Door the Gorax into the zone, and then Spirit Door Kaya over to the top there where I think she's going to be safe a little bit. So I move up the Stoneshaper that's on the flag, and I end up doing a spray, just trying to knock down Barathrum, but it misses. And then I move up the second Stoneshaper, who does a spray and misses the Deathripper and the flag. But
Cryx, turn 4. So Ryan scored a bit more than I expected, and maybe I didn't plan very well for the fact that Gaspy was going to die. I kind of anticipated having a heavy in the middle of the table, and now I just have a big inert turd that I can't do anything with. But we get some focus out. I'm going to upkeep Infernal Machine and upkeep Curse of Shadows, because we still gotta kill that big rock guy up there, and speed 8's still really nice on Barathrum. And he's engaging one of my Smog Belchers here, so it's going to stay in his melee. The other ones are going to walk up. They're going to put out some shots. The one in melee is going to try to bap him, and I'm pretty sure he misses. And I fire a shot at the pot, and I hit, so his Boilmaster is not going to be charging this turn. Boy. And they kill that other Stoneshaper, which is sort of handy. At least Ryan can't be scoring that bottom flag on me like he's done on all the other flags, unexpectedly. And what else are we going to do here? gotta think. How we gonna fix this? So the Ironmonger is gonna charge that stone and contest the middle flag, which is kind of important because I don't want to just lose, and scoring is gonna be hard. My Dirge Seers are gonna walk up. One's gonna be in melee with the Stalker there, and one on the bottom, she's going to throw a Hex Bolt at the Alpha, and the one in the middle is going to throw a Hex Bolt at the Stalker and miss, and the one in melee with him is going to summon a Vortex, because -2 to hit to attack rolls Cloud is kind of handy. Then Barathrum is going to walk over and start beating on his poor Warpwolf, and he's fully loaded again, so he's probably going to be able to do it with Gangfighter, and he ends up with 2 extra focus. Great, he can't drag below this turn because he's the Stalker is definitely not a warrior model. I dither a little bit on what I'm going to do with my witches here because I want to get my triangles, but it's hard to get triangles, man. I walk the middle witch up so I can see the Stoneshaper, but I can't get just charged by a Wild Argus because that would suck. And I throw a Stygian Abyss at the Stoneshaper and I miss, which is not great. And I didn't boost it because I want to throw a Stygian Abyss through this top witch at the Wold Guardian. Yeah, that's important. I had the triangle there, so it's boosted, so he's blinded. Yeah, take that, Wold Guardian. And maybe a point of damage. I think I took a point of damage. And now this top unit of Smog Belchers is going to go. I can walk through them because of Curse of Shadows, which is really handy. I also don't have to worry about free strikes. And I'm going to do a little bit of walking around. And I'm going to blast his... I'm staying just out of his Wilder's melee. And so I'm definitely going to hit because it's a 3-inch AoE and it can't scatter more than an inch off of him. My other Smog Belchers are going to put some more shots into this Wold Guardian.
I think you finally crippled him this time.
Yeah, I crippled his mind, I think. Take that, sir. The Blood Priestess is going to whack the Alpha up in the middle, or up at the bottom there. And more importantly, provide Gangfighter for my Deathripper, who's going to beat him up. Yeah, they are real lights with Gangfighter. And then my bottom witch is going to get Sucker from the Blood Priestess. And Ryan scores another one, and I score 2.
Circle, turn 4. So looking at it, I need to score 2, and Chris needs to score 0, and I win the game. So I start planning out how to do that. So there's only one thing contesting the middle flag, which is that Ironmonger there. And if I move my pot 5 inches, it can get within 4 inches of the flag and contest. So I move up the pot, I Spirit Lash the Ironmonger, which pulls him out of contesting, so even if he doesn't die, he's not contesting. I boost a hit and then boost damage, and he dies, so I'm going to score there, and I'm going to score my zone. Now all I have to do is contest his zone to win. So I move up the Wild Argus, who Doppler barks and combo bites the Dirge Seer there, so now he's contesting and I'm scoring 2, so I can end now and win, but I decide I want to kill a little bit more stuff. So Kaya goes over, kills the Iron Belcher, or the Smog Belcher there, and then Spirit Doors into the zone. I move up my Wold Wyrd, who shoots at Barathrum, hits, boosts damage, cranking a bunch of damage, same thing, and I kill him with my second shot. So I shoot the last Smog Belcher at the bottom there, and then I'm gonna score 2 here, and then he scores 0, so I win. Afterthoughts. So Chris, you won roll off and decided to go first. Do you feel that that was the correct thing to do in this game?
I don't feel bad about that. I could have definitely done a better job deploying, but because I want my Smog Belchers to be shooting a lot of the time, I want them to get up the table because they're going to be fairly stationary, like most gun lines are. I can be really fast and aggressive with Gaspy and Barathrum, and I want to be able to push you like that. There's also the fact that you're playing Circle. Circle's really fast. And I don't want to be pushed back at all.
Yeah, thinking about it, I think if you went second, your Smog Belchers, like even though you ran turn 1, like they were still having trouble getting it into scenario, which in the long run obviously benefited me.
Yeah. I actually kind of preferred the side you put me on because it meant you could keep the witch safe
behind
easy.
The house there. Yeah.
But that burning forest definitely caused issues for me. I'm not sure if I could have done anything differently there. But I just need to deploy better with that list.
I definitely could have probably ran Lord of the Feast so that, because I know if you hadn't have killed me with that one spell, your Deathripper could have charged him still. I probably should have paid attention and kept him out of that at least. But
yeah, he was probably going down with the. I definitely wanted to get rid of him because he can just get such weird angles with his bird.
Yeah, I think
at least I wanted to blind him, so getting the reroll with the boosted to hit means that I can fairly reliably blind him. And then he can't bird.
Yeah, it was like I remember thinking at the time, like if he somehow doesn't kill Lord of the Feast on this damage roll, I don't think you had enough to do another one. But you did have the Deathripper for follow up, so that was a mistake that I think I made was it didn't end up mattering, but not asking and keeping him the half-inch back that I needed to be back.
And we discussed that you're often very aggressive with the Lord of the Feast, but he can be very valuable in the late game, just putting in damage.
Yeah, after the game, I was thinking about it, and yeah, if you kept him, it's kind of counterintuitive because he has advanced deploy, so you're wanting to get him up the board as fast as possible. But if you kept him back a turn or two, and he was a late game piece, he'd be a very impactful late game piece. I'm thinking maybe I need to try playing him more that way, because so many times I'll play him and I'll just run him up the board, and my opponent will be able to hand out eyeless sight to something and he gets blown up, and it's frustrating. And nothing feels better than the game where you get to actually send him in and mulch an entire unit of dudes.
Yeah.
So
I definitely had my eye to get rid of him. And actually, that's the entire reason I chose the objective I did.
Oh yeah.
Just to get rid of Lord of the Feast.
Is there any things in the game that you think that you did poorly, or the things that you or me did really well that you'd want to really point at towards a good highlight or low light, I guess?
Well, your scenario play there was phenomenal. I just didn't expect you to rush up like that and keep scoring, and then you did, and I was in trouble right away. And I feel like there was a whole lot I could have done differently in that turn 3 area after you just plowed in and got rid of a lot of the pieces I had to contest. I definitely shouldn't have been so aggressive on that second turn. I should have kept a couple pieces back. Having the Raider Captain would have been really valuable, because she's speed 7 and she can charge in and kill something and then sprint into your zone very easily.
Oh yeah.
She's so fast and mobile.
Yeah, and I think the only reason you really lost her was because you parked that Ironmonger just within 5 of Skull the Death Wolf.
Yeah, there was no reason to put him up there. The Ironmongers are a really nice piece to have. I also didn't really make use of Axiara. She can give Prowl or Reposition to the Smog Belchers so that I can make a nice little cloud wall and either have stealth guys in it or repo behind it and then have you unable to see anything. And I just didn't do that the whole game. I had it in the back of my mind. I've used it before. It's a really handy trick.
I mean, you killed Talia, the other Death Wolf, with her, so I mean, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, no, she did good with what she could. I positioned her poorly.
I mean, the Doppler bark is probably what sealed it for her, because I remember when that turn first started, and I asked what all the defensive stats around that flag was, and I was like, this is bullshit. And then I looked at it and I was like, but I do have a Wild Argus that can walk over here and make their defensive stats not that.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't thinking about the Doppler mark. Dropping from 15 to 5 is fairly significant.
Yeah, and then after realizing that the Stalker's mat 10 between Pack Hunter and Primal was also, I probably didn't need the Doppler bark that much, and if I'd gone like Berserk, then it would have been, I would have used one attack to kill all of the things there, and then I would have had more attacks into the Conservator. I think it was fairly beat up, but wasn't like I was about to remove it by any means.
Yeah, well, because it's a Convergence Jack and it's got the 2 bucklers, it's pretty hard to kill.
Yeah. Other than that, I think it was a really fun game. It was didn't really play out the way I was expecting. I was really expecting to be able to send my Warpwolf Stalker in, nab a piece, and then Spirit Door it to safety. But then with Infernal Machine on Barathrum, it just got out-threatened all game long. So
yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And even though you could see we spent a lot of time just thinking and talking, we were communicating the whole time. It didn't actually feel that long. It was a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, if you have any last parting thoughts?
No, I'm all good. Doppler bark's pain.
It's right up there with Paralyze, like when the clocks had, or the clock spray, I guess, where it's just like, oh, you hit him, he's defense 5, except for the Doppler bark is a little bit more limited on how far out you can get it, but you don't have to hit, and they're just defense 5. I don't know, it's
6 of one, half a dozen.
Yeah. Other than that, thanks for watching Retaliatory Strike.